The biggest news story this weekend in the world of pro wrestling is the return of RTruth to WWE. He showed up at the end of Money in the Bank, stopped John Cena and Logan Paul from defeating Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso in the main event. Everybody went crazy. Everybody is celebrating his return to the WWE. Everyone is happy. Everyone should be happy about his return. But the discussion is it a work? Did WWE work us? Did WWE fool us? Was this all a part of the plan? Or is this a shoot? Is WWE owning up to their mistake and hiding it behind it being a work? I got major details from Fightful Select today on the fact that it was not a work, and RTruth was very much let go by the company, and they brought him back because of fan reaction, and they brought him back because it's a bad precedent. It is a bad negative stigma on the company. I got all that and so much more, and my very, very opinionated take on this right here on Off the Script. It is your Sunday, June 8th, 2025. Details behind RTruth's return last night at Money in the Bank. This is according to Fightful Select. They put it behind their paywall. And I will say, before anybody goes out there in the comments and says, "Oh, JD, this is from Fightful and Sean Ross simp," I get it. I'm not the biggest Fightful guy either, but it's either Fightful or PW Insider where we get most of our news, and you choose your poison. Fightful, for the most part, does very good work. Do they get everything right? No. Are they very biased towards one company over the other? Absolutely. Most of their roster is. Fightful's roster is. But in this case, they got it 100% right. And nobody should be second guessing them. Just follow what happened on TV, and after this video, you'll pretty much know exactly where I'm coming from and why my point of view is very important, and it should be something that should be discussed. RTruth, he's back with the WWE. It is not a work. They put right in the opening of their headline. It is not a work. RTruth appeared at the end of Money in the Bank attacking John Cena. A week prior, he announced his release from the company. It wasn't really an outright release. They did notify him while still under contract that they would not be entertaining a contract extension, and they are very much allowing him to walk, to go, and do whatever he wants to do without a 90-day non-compete attached to it. WWE clarified to Fightful at the time was a contract expiration that was occurring. His contract had not actually expired, but sources close to Ron Killings did claim he has a new deal. His son has seemingly confirmed as much on social media. If I find those screenshots, I will put them in the video. Not only did RTruth's son say something, but RTruth himself said something as well. And again, I will put those screenshots in the video. Over the week that followed, wrestling companies, promoters, and representatives reached out to Ron Killings, RTruth, and were hopeful that they could book him for upcoming shows. A number of talent noted to Fightful that they spoke with RTruth and specified repeatedly that the situation was not a work. Again, it wasn't a work. We're told that there were many tears over Ron Killings' departure, and he was flooded with phone calls and messages, and that Killings seemed shocked and kind of disgusted, as most of the fan base was. Specifically, one talent noted that Truth was cut in a very cold and impersonal way, with a talent relations employee informing him instead of top brass in the company. Man, you guys glazing a multi-billion-dollar promotion, man. You look like the biggest fucking simps in the entire community, man. I don't really understand it. I don't get it. Why do people openly glaze a multi-billion-dollar company with people in charge who have absolutely no personality, no compassion, and no love for anything but themselves and the money that they're making? Their God is their money. And these are the people that you are going to bat for and defending. Shame on you. We're told that Killings actually ignored many of WWE's approaches during the week, until Nick Khan took over and called Killings to work out a new deal. We're told the deal was a meeting halfway situation, which would give way to why he is now Ron Killings and not RTruth. One talent that Killings worked with for over a decade stated to Fightful, Ronnie wouldn't do that, meaning work the fans and work the locker room. If he had to maintain a work like that, he'd just ask us not to say anything. He would never lie to us about that. I think Paul Levesque knows that lying to or working the locker room is horrible taste. In response to Triple H claiming RTruth's departure and appearance was all a part of the show, a number of talent reached out to outright claim the opposite. Triple H went into the Money in the Bank post-show media scrum, and someone had asked about the RTruth situation and him being let go. Was it something that they thought of and corrected because the release, the fact that they let him walk was all a mistake? They shouldn't have done that. Triple H said, "Did you enjoy the show?" Guy replied back, "Yeah, I enjoyed the show. It's all part of the show." And Triple H moved on to the next question. Nobody sitting here should expect Triple H to give you an answer that is owning up to his mistake. Of course he was going to give an answer like that. Of course he was going to say, "Yeah, it's all part of the show." Did you enjoy the show? Sure, it's all part of the show. This is all a part of the plan. This is all a part of our storytelling. Sure thing, bro. Sure thing. Another talent saw Killings' son calling Cap on Triple H's comments and said, "See, you can't control all of these conversations." Another veteran responded to the situation saying, "I can tell Hunter doesn't like it. He doesn't like the fans hijacking creative," before elaborating their disbelief of it being an elaborate plan in a very colorful manner. Throughout the week, one of Killings' friends in the company said, "It's hard to feel good when we fired Santa Claus." Obviously, the mood was much different, with everyone excited to see RTruth making a return. PW Insider reports the deal came together in the last 72 hours. Midway through the show, Fightful Select reported that there was a surprise planned for the end of the show, but at the time, we didn't know what that was. Staff, talent, and the majority of WWE was kept completely in the dark until before the match, with a few people and talent in the know. The return was kept very close to the vest for obvious reasons. Triple H went out to the post-show media scrum and said, "Did you enjoy the show?" Guy replied, "Yeah, it's all a part of the show." Triple H, he lied to everybody. He blatantly lied to everybody. And he made his post-show media scrums look as bad as Tony Khan's post-show media scrums. They're a joke. They're nothing more than scripted garbage with wannabe fucking content creators, wannabe journalists sitting there hoping to glaze and get some viral clicks off of some stupid fucking question at the post-show media scrum to said talent. Triple H said what he said because Triple H cannot own up to his mistake. Triple H said what he said because it was a way to deflect the heat off of him, because he was one of the people that made this decision to let RTruth walk. Was he the only person to make this decision to let RTruth walk? No. It was a collaborative effort. It was Triple H, I'm sure it was Bruce Pritchard, Nick Khan, and some other bigwigs in WWE that we might not know of. The figureheads, the key people in charge that we know of who are in charge of this thing, they made the decision to let RTruth go. They did not know how to handle the negative feedback. On top of all the other negative feedback that Triple H is getting, with the creative being piss poor and boring, WrestleMania being otherwise a fucking creative failure, John Cena's heel run being a complete miss in 2025, and everything else that's happening. We had the releases after WrestleMania, then we had these releases, then one of them being RTruth, and just the Rock story that's coming out, and Triple H supposedly having 18 months on as the COO and he's going to be replaced by The Rock and Brian Gewirtz and all these other stories coming on out. There's nothing more than negative stories about Triple H, and they keep snow piling on top of one another, and it's just a bad look. He doesn't know how to weather that storm. When Triple H has his back against the wall, he's either going to do one thing, and if it's not that one thing, it's going to be the complete opposite. Like he did last night. It's all part of the show. He's going to pretend like his work was great. He's going to pretend like he had nothing to do with it. He's going to pretend to you that it's all a part of the show. On the other side, we saw what he said during WrestleMania, where he blasted the fans. I can't stand when the fans are vocal on social media. Shut the fuck up and enjoy the show. That's Triple H not knowing and not understanding how to handle the heat. He's in the kitchen, and that flame is burning a little bit too hot, bro. He doesn't know. There's no middle ground with Triple H. It's either, yeah, my shit's great, or shut the fuck up and enjoy the show. Both are complete defense mechanisms. There's no in between. So he went out there and said, yeah, it's all part of the show. No, it's not. It's not a part of the fucking show. How could you blatantly say that's part of the show when we all saw what exactly you did in the lead up to Money in the Bank? All you needed to do was come out there and say, yeah, we made a mistake. We shouldn't have done that. And we're glad that he's back. And we did it for you guys. We listened. We heard you. And we applied all of that energy and brought the guy that you wanted back to television. That's all you needed to say. That's all you needed to say. Is it so difficult for a multi-billion-dollar company to own up to the fact that they made a mistake? I would love one of these companies. I would love one of these fucking promoters to just own up to a mistake. You made a mistake, bro. You fucked up. Own up to it. Then you got Triple H saying it's all part of the show, which leads everybody to fucking go to bat for him and raise the flag and soldier on and fight the good fight for Triple H. You got all these people. Oh, the podcasters were worked. Oh, the dirt sheets were worked. Oh, Sapp was worked and Mike Johnson was worked and Meltzer was worked and all these people. JD was worked and Solomonster was worked and all these people. We weren't worked. You're just a fucking idiot. You're an idiot who can't decipher what you're watching and apply it to what's going on here. It's not a work. Triple H doesn't need you to go to bat for him. I don't understand why you're going to bat for a multi-billion-dollar company that made a decision and let someone go and factored loyalty as insignificant. Oh, why don't you just enjoy the show? He's back. It doesn't matter if it's a work or shoot. Yes, it does. It absolutely does. They made a mistake. They fucked up. They should own up to the mistake that they made and apologize. This is why I said I don't know why you want it to be a work. Oh, but we want surprises. What happens? What happens to the fan base when they know everything? Why don't you just be a fan and enjoy the fact that we were worked and surprised? We were still surprised. We were surprised. We were surprised that he was back, and we were more surprised that they actually owned up to their mistake to bring him back. It doesn't stop there, though. It shouldn't stop there. I said this last night. You made a multi-billion-dollar company because of your chants, because of your hashtags, because of your voice. You made a multi-billion-dollar company bend a fucking knee and do what you wanted. Why the fuck would I want that to be a work? Should they now work it into the storyline? Absolutely. That's the only part of it that is work. They're now working this into the story because of their fuck up. Now you're going to work it into what you see going on into SummerSlam. It's the only part of it that is a work. The release was not a work. Bringing him back was not a work. Was this planned? No. No. It's all real. It all happened. This is how dense people are. This guy wrestled John Cena at Saturday night's main event. They did nothing before building into the match. They just put the match out there. After the match was over, nothing was a follow-up. Not a single fucking piece of follow-up coming out of that. You know what they had RTruth doing? This is where these people, it's a work, JD, you got worked. This is where pro wrestling fans just expose themselves as the biggest fucking idiots in any community on social media. After Saturday night's main event, there was not a drop of a follow-up. What they have RTruth do next, they have him wrestle JC Mateo on Friday Night SmackDown. This guy was in a backstage segment where Solo Sikoa and his bloodline walk up to him, and he's talking to a ghost. He's talking to little Jimmy, his imaginary friend. And then he wrestles JC Mateo in a 2-minute squash. Come that Sunday, RTruth is released. But the geeks on social media say it's all a work. If it was part of the work, then they would have followed up coming out of Saturday night's main event and followed up with something in regards to John Cena. They didn't do that. They didn't do anything going into it. They didn't do anything coming out of it. And they put him in a fucking match after a backstage segment where he talked to imaginary friends. Put him in a match with JC Mateo. How the fuck does that equal work? How do you factor that being the plan for him coming back here and screwing John Cena at Money in the Bank? What are you, fucking stupid? If this was the plan all along, I would have fucking told you outright. I would have told you outright. None of it was part of the plan. None of it. Triple H bullshitted you. Triple H lied. And then he spawns all these different replies with all his minions going to bat for him. He lied. All he needed to do was say, we fucked up. We listened and we brought him back. Now enjoy the ride. That's it. I'd love for one of these fucking promoters, these companies to just say, you know what? We made a mistake, bro. We'll do better next time. No, but they can't do that. Their ego is just too big. Their ego is so fragile, they can't handle any sort of criticism. No, RTruth was not the plan. Which makes me think, if RTruth didn't come back and the report said Nick Khan, negotiated with RTruth and it was meeting halfway situation, if RTruth said, fuck off, I don't want to come back, what would have been the plan for Money in the Bank? Would we have gone off the air with Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso in the most unceremonious ending to a pay-per-view all year? Would that match have main evented the show? Would they have had the men's Money in the Bank ladder match and the show with Rollins, and the last thing we see is Rollins holding up the briefcase? Would we have gotten Reigns or Punk? It also begs the question, this deal, says the report, came about in the last 72 hours, which means if you go back to this Wednesday, that's when the negotiations started to happen between Nick Khan and RTruth. I also start thinking, if you're coming so close to the day of the show, and this was the ending, and the ending of the show was born out of Nick Khan meeting with RTruth, nobody's talking about this aspect. Nick Khan talking to RTruth on Wednesday. We get him showing up on Saturday. If none of this happened, there's no plans for Money in the Bank. This was the plan. How don't you have proper plans in place for Money in the Bank creative so close to the show? You banked on RTruth coming back? What sense does that make? It just goes to show you the creative process here is putting little to zero effort into it. Why are Money in the Bank plans unfinished on Wednesday? Meanwhile, there's 48 hours left to go till the show. No, RTruth was the plan. Clearly it wasn't. You let him walk. Here's another aspect people aren't really talking about. Oh, it's a work, JD. Yeah, sure, it's a work. Meanwhile, RTruth was not the only name let go by the company that week. Carlito and RTruth were let go on the same day. Following that, literally 24 hours later, Sarah Logan was let go. Why would WWE let 3 talents go in a span of 24 hours, only to bring one back and then have it be part of the plan? Do you realize how insensitive that is? Do you realize how absurd that sounds? Now, we fired 3 people. We let 3 people go. Fired is not really the word I would use there. We let 3 people go, but we're bringing back 1. But it's all a part of the plan. Sure thing, bro. I guess we'll see Carlito on Monday night and back in the Judgment Day Clubhouse if it's all a part of the plan. I guess we'll see Sarah Logan next time we see the War Raiders on TV wrestle the New Day. I'm sure it's all a part of the plan. No, they let everybody else go only to bring RTruth back. It's not a work. You wanted Truth. The company let Truth go. You voiced your opinion. They didn't want the negative backlash. They didn't like the perception that it was giving the company because they know they're fucking up more than they care to admit. And they needed to soften the blow of negativity, so they did the one thing that they could do to do that, to shut everybody else up. Do you think Triple H wants fans hijacking random women's matches on Monday night with chants of, "We want truth, we want truth"? They literally came out of nowhere in the most bizarre ways. In the most un-WWE-like segment. I mean, you'd see RTruth chants in a Kairi Sane match. We got RTruth chants all in the stream for Worlds Collide on YouTube in the chat. We got "We want truth" chants during the first women's Money in the Bank ladder match. WWE could not risk this getting bigger and more obnoxious. So what did we learn here? We learned that RTruth coming back was not the plan. Triple H lied to you. RTruth said so, and the fact that he said no work to some fucking geek on social media is all you need. Don't know why RTruth. That's another thing. People are saying, "Oh, RTruth is just playing along." No, he's not. No, he's not. You don't have every major publication pick up the fact that RTruth was let go. You don't have his son go out on Instagram and say, "No, Cap, stop lying." RTruth himself coming out and saying, "No work." Just own up to the fact that you guys don't know what you're talking about. The discourse between fans on social media and the people that report the news, content creators, I never seen such a loud pocket of people want to get these bloggers and content creators and journalists and news sites and dirt sheets. I never seen them go out of their way so vehemently for the "aha, gotcha" moment. Bro, you got nothing. You got nothing. Every single one of these people were made to look like a fucking idiot. It was not a work. WWE very much let him go. They had him wrestle JC fucking Mateo on Friday night with no fucking plan at all to follow up with John Cena. If there was a fucking plan, he wouldn't have wrestled JC Mateo on Friday night. And we would have gotten a follow-up. They said, "Mateo, goodbye." And the report said it was done in a very cold and impersonal way. Gee, that doesn't look good for Paul Levesque now, does it? Oh, it's all a part of the plan. Sure thing. RTruth is back. Everybody's happy he's back. I'm fucking excited to see where it goes. Ron Killings dropping the RTruth comedy shtick to do a little bit more of a serious deal with Cody and John Cena and get a proper final send-off. Why did it need the fans to voice their opinion? Why did we need the locker room to fucking shed tears and heartbreak and messages across the fucking entire spectrum of the internet? Why did we need all of this? Why did we need to outwardly show how much we cared? For 17 years that this guy has been here, the company didn't know what this man meant to that locker room. For 17 years, this company didn't know what he meant to everybody. The cold and impersonal way he was let go. These are the people you want to glaze for. These are the people you want to go to bat for. I'm not going to bat for a multi-billion-dollar fucking company that disregards loyalty as nothing. You let somebody that everybody genuinely loves go for absolutely no reason. Meanwhile, you've signed this one and that one and this one and that one, and you're signing new NIL talents, and you're bringing in Nikki Bella on fucking Monday. No, we got no spot for RTruth. No spot at all for RTruth. Nothing. No ambassador program, no producer role, no locker room leader-like role, PR role. You got nothing for him. Absolutely zero role for him after 17 years. These are the people you want to go to bat for. Everybody that claimed you got worked, you were made to look like a fucking idiot, and you should all be ashamed of yourself. You should not want it to be a work. You were all genuinely shocked anyway. You got your shock and awe. You got your story now. I am not sitting here claiming that I'm not happy about RTruth back. I'm thrilled RTruth is back, and I'm very excited to see where they go with it. But the fact of the matter is, and it still remains, you should not want this to be a work because your voice was heard. This is a very rare situation. We don't know when the next time this happens, when they'll listen to us. Maybe we should use our voices a little bit more often. You don't know the power that we hold. Yes, the WWE listened to us. Yes, the WWE made the changes because they knew they fucked up. They'll never admit it. One of these days, we'll get what we want and them admitting that they were wrong. But we changed it. We changed it. We held them for the decisions that they made, and they were forced to change it. That is a victory in itself, and I will never, ever, ever sit here and tell you that I want it any other way. They need to pay. They get away with everything because they got the money to do so. All they care about is their money. Nothing else. Human emotions and fucking loyalty and everything else that comes with being a good human being is non-existent to these people. If you have the opportunity to bend a multi-billion-dollar company to do what you want because of the fucking poor decisions that they made, you're going to take that any chance you got, man, and you should. Good on you fans for making the change. RTruth is back, and it was not a work at all. Sap is correct. Alba is correct. PW Insider is correct. Anybody that reported on this is correct. Follow the breadcrumbs. It doesn't make sense for it to be the plan. It is not that difficult to figure out. Deal came together in 72 hours, and they fucked up and made a correction. They'll never admit it, but we're here to tell you that they fucked up, and they made the correction because their egos are too fragile. That's my job, to tell you that they fucked up, and the reason why they did what they did is because they can't admit that they were wrong. RTruth is back. I'm excited to see where it goes. Thank you very much for all of your support. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that thumbs up down below. Hit that subscribe button down below as well. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go check out the rest of the content on the channel, including the entire Money in the Bank 2025 post-show review on the channel, along with anything else. And I will be back with more news right here on Off the Script. Have a great Sunday, guys. I'll be back. I think I might do something Worlds Collide. I don't know yet. I needed to get this out. This was a much bigger story than that was. I still may do something for Worlds Collide. I'll let you guys know. I will see you guys live again tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw. We'll see the fallout from Money in the Bank and that big show. It's Gunther versus Jey Uso for the World's Heavyweight Championship. Will Seth Rollins cash in that Money in the Bank briefcase? We'll find out together live tomorrow night right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.